Hey, I get it, you're scrolling through endless listings, trying to decide if a washer-dryer combo is worth the plunge, and you're worried you'll end up with a machine that takes up space but doesn't really do the job. I was just chatting with a friend who lives in a two-bedroom condo, and she's torn between buying a separate stackable set or going all-in with a single unit that promises to handle everything. The fear of spending good money on a piece of equipment that ends up being a compromise is real, especially when you factor in the cost, the noise, and the learning curve of new tech. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. So, let's walk through what the LG WM6998HVA actually brings to the table and whether it fits the kind of life you lead. This isn't a spec sheet readout. It's the kind of rundown you'd give a buddy who's trying to picture the machine in their own laundry routine, complete with the little annoyances and the genuine perks that show up after you've used it for a month or two. First off, the biggest selling point here is the 5.0 cuff capacity. That's a size you normally see in full-size front-load washers, not in a combo. In practice, it means you can toss a whole king-size comforter, a basket of towels, and a few everyday loads into a single wash without having to split things up. For a family of 3 or 4, that's a real time saver. My own sister, who does a lot of weekend laundry after a family trip, told me she can finally fit all the bedding in one go instead of running a half-empty cycle and waiting for it to finish twice. The stainless steel drum is another practical touch. Unlike plastic tubs that can develop odors over time, the steel interior stays neutral, which helps keep clothes smelling fresh even after multiple loads. Now, the advanced cleaning claim is a bit of marketing shorthand, but it translates into a few specific cycles that LG built into the combo. There's a steam boost option that can lift light stains without pre-treating, and a turbo wash mode that shortens cycle time by using high-pressure water jets. In real-world use, the steam setting shines when you're dealing with something like a coffee spill on a favorite shirt rather than scrubbing it by hand. You let the machine run a 30-minute steam wash, and the stain lightens noticeably. However, it's worth noting that the steam feature also adds a few extra minutes to the total cycle, which is something to keep in mind if you're on a tight schedule. Ease of use is a major factor for anyone who isn't a laundry aficionado. The control panel is a simple touchscreen with intuitive icons, so you don't have to stare at a wall of numbers to figure out which cycle you need. There's also a built-in Wi-Fi connection that lets you start, pause, or monitor the machine from your phone. In my experience, the app is handy when you're juggling a load while cooking dinner. You can see exactly how much time is left and get a notification when the dryer finishes, so you don't have to stand in the hallway listening for the beeping. That said, the Wi-Fi link can be a bit finicky if your router is far from the laundry room, and you may need to repair it occasionally. Let's talk about the dryer side, because that's where many combo units stumble. The dryer portion is ventless, using a condensation system rather than a traditional vent. The upside is you don't need to route a dryer duct through a wall or window, which is a huge plus in apartments or condos where you can't make structural changes. The downside is that the drying times tend to be longer than a vented dryer, especially for heavy items like denim jeans or bulky blankets. I ran a test with a load of towels after a swim day. The washer finished in 45 minutes, but the dryer took nearly 2 hours to get them completely dry. If you're used to a quick 30-minute tumble, you'll need to plan ahead or accept that you'll have a few extra minutes in the laundry rotation. One of the biggest concerns people have with combos is reliability, and the rating on Amazon reflects a mixed bag. 3.3 stars out of 5 based on 179 reviews. While there aren't specific complaints I can quote, the midly off-the-road rating suggests that some owners have hit snags, perhaps with the dryer's condensation system or the electronic controls. If you're the type who prefers a straightforward, no-surprise appliance, this rating signals you should be prepared for potential service calls. On the other hand, LG's brand reputation for after-sales support can mitigate that risk. They typically have a decent network of service technicians and a decent warranty, though the exact terms aren't listed in the info I have. So, who should actually consider the WM6998HVA? If you live in a space where a separate washer and dryer simply won't fit, or you value the convenience of